G'day, Aussie Bonsai bloke. Yeah, how you going? G'day guys, so today we're going to be having a look at this air layer on this apple. I did it nearly 18 months ago, I think it was Feb 23. Basically, bottom half of this tree was very straight, very ugly. I did attempt to carve it at one stage to create some interest, but you know, it's got too big a root ball, it's too heavy and very ugly. So we air layered it here. I think I named it Ultimate Risk in Bonsai or something like that. But we're going to try and separate this apple tree today and see whether we've got any roots. I have not looked at it. It's very hard for me to know whether this tree has put out any roots or not, because I have had this pot where you can sort of dig a little bit and you can see underneath, but because I've let weeds grow in here, it's very hard to know whether they're weed roots or what is coming out. So if we do have any sort of roots in here today, I'm going to separate it because I'm just sick of having this thing on the bench like this. If there's no roots, which I suspect there's actually no roots, because if I dig the main trunk, it's still alive and green in there, which means it hasn't been fed for a year and a half. If I completely severed the cambium layer, it means it wouldn't have been fed for a year and a half. So how would it still be put and sat down? Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. But anyway, see what happens. We're going to separate it today, hopefully, and see what's in there. So let's get to it. I'm just going to cut her open. And I feel like I'm going to need something a bit more serious than this. Now, to keep this top part watered, I did have its own dripper in the top. I had a dripper up the top and a couple down the bottom to keep the bottom watered still. So, very interesting. Let's see what's going on. I suspect nothing. So, if you get nothing in an air layer, generally, it means your gap wasn't wide enough where you cut it, or you didn't cut deep enough. So, I have had a few successful air layers before, but I've also had some failures. Using Tom's ratchet pruners from Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. Tom was nice enough to send me a pair and they work really well. It makes cutting super easy. Alright, cut the rest of the zip ties off. Let's hope something's in here. Like I say, if there's something, it's coming off today. If there's nothing, well, I'll be disappointed. And who knows what we're going to do if there's nothing. So yeah, a year and a half. There could be weed roots, but I think that's part of the apple. It's got to be. Come here and have a look at this. I think we're actually successful. I'm actually surprised. I think that's apple. Got to be apple roots, tree roots, right? It's actually getting a bit of a mat at the bottom. I think we've got something. Now, okay. Dilemma. Never separated one this big before. Air layered the whole tree. Ultimate risk, I think I called it, because it's either going to kill the tree or keep the tree. And either way I didn't care, as long as I didn't have to carry around that big bloody pot and root base. And now we'll hopefully have a bit of interest. But dilemma now is, do we just cut that and keep all of them roots without actually digging in there and having a look? Don't know. I don't really want to scratch the bottom away and tear a heap of the roots that are going to help it survive, because there is a lot of branches up top that need to you know, need some energy for spring. But I feel like let's scratch away at the top and see if we can find something. Alright, I'm going to have a bit of a scratch and then get you back because this could take a while. So I feel like a lot of it, let's move there. Okay guys, well, after a bit of digging, I found a few little roots around the place, a bit of callousing on some of it, some real good callousing in areas, a few roots around as well, but if you have a look at this, that root mass just slides up and down this side, and that tells me there's nothing really substantial this side at all. But if you pull on this side, it's firm and solid, which tells me that side of the trunk has thrown out roots, this side has not. So, and then it's just wrapped around the pot. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just cut it today. If this whole trunk here, the big one, dies, I'll just make something out of this small one. If after cutting it, all this callus starts to push out roots, which it may well do because there is good callousing underneath, like it wants to push out roots, and it survives, well, we'll keep the both trunks, but otherwise we'll just go with the one. So let's separate it and put it in a pot and see what happens. So before we get to separating it, let's just go and make some soil. Alright guys, so first we've got to make some soil. This is the most budget, cheapest soil or bonsai mix I think that's out there. Works out to $20 Australian for 40 litres, or which is probably 10 bucks US for 40 litres of bonsai mix, so pretty cheap. First, let's get some power going. Cold start again. Guys, what are you barking at it for? Get here, get here, get here. Hello, Roy. Hey, Kimmy, Freddy. Hello. Barrels, hello. Kibby. There's Mr. Lilos. Lilos, the boss. Hello, boss. Hey, bunny. Hello. Hey, you're the big boss man, aren't you? Hey? Yes, you are. Alright, time for some power. Let's start her up. 4 bloody kelpies. Who would do it to themselves? Right. First ingredients. Woolworths kitty litter, smitten, 100% natural clay, New Zealand zeolite. I don't sift it or anything. I'm keeping it bloody simple. So let's chop it in. get my arm caught. Just a premium 25 litre bag of Aussie coat. Go. Bag of each, $10 each. Well, $8, $10, so $18. And that's it, simple as. Start her up. Let her mix. Okay, here's our mix. Not bad. Potentially might need a bit more kitty litter depending on what sort of mix you want. I'll just give it a bit more. I do have some spare. Alright guys, so that's probably okay for a lot of trees, but today, because we're cutting off that air layer, if the air layer is good, I don't want it to get a soupy mess in there, because then I'll get root rot. I want it to have a lot of air. So I'm going to put another half a bag of this in, which, you know, make it up to, you know, $25. $25. But now you've got nearly 50 litres. So that's pretty much half now. 25 litres of each. 50 litres, $25. Right, I'm going to mix that up. And let's see what we got. Guys, so now we're half, very simple potting mix, kitty litter, half, and you got a mix like that, very porous, let a lot of air in, also hold a lot of moisture, and that's it. That's all you need. Half potting mix, kitty litter. Make sure it's New Zealand sea light because it doesn't break down and it holds its integrity and doesn't turn into a soupy mess. Do not get clumping. Whatever you do, do not get clumping. So very simple. Now to complicate it slightly, I cleaned out my worm farm, and here we have some worm castings, and I'm just going to put a couple of shovel loads of worm castings in. This could make the mix actually worse. It might not do a damn thing, so don't think that you have to do worm castings. Definitely not a must. But anyway, putting in some worm castings, and I'll probably end up with bloody pumpkins coming up in my bonsai mix. So I'll put a couple of loads of that in, and yeah, we'll leave it at that, and then let's go repot. There's nothing bad in worm castings as far as too much fertilizer, so don't worry about burning your plant. Pretty much can't put too much in really. And there we have it, beautiful bonsai mix. Cheap, easy, budget, can't go wrong. Looks like a pair of rosellas is thinking about going in the nesting box. Got one sussing it out there. And there was another one up above it. So there's a pair here. Okay guys, got the soil ready, so now it's time to separate this. Looks like we've still got screens in the bottom. Damn it, I just washed my hands, got them all clean, and now here we go again. Damn. Pull them off. Try to do it carefully. Damn it. Nothing's easy, man. Actually goes right through the middle of the roots, which is a bit of a bad thing, but anyway, let's not pull too hard on that. Cut away. Feel like best thing I can do is try to get a few of these crossing roots out, just to break this side bit, and then I seriously think we've got full access to the trunk. So yeah, I can see several locations where it's re-bridged the gap, which means I did not cut it deep enough or wide enough, and it's re-bridged the gap. And now I've got to go wash my hands again. So let's do that, and then I'll come back, and then let's separate the damn thing. Alright guys, let's get into it. A couple of people to help here wouldn't go astray, but see what happens. So I'm just going to cut it pretty much in line with the old airlayer marks, and try to stop before I cut the root off the other side. Let's try. Okay, moment of truth, separation. Let's see if we haven't cut the bloody roots off. Are they going to come with a tree? Or are they going to stay with a stump? Look at that, they're coming with a tree. Yeah, so it's air-layered on this other side over here, and this side here is pretty bare, bit of callousing, few roots trying. I'm going to bury it quite deep in its new pot, and try not to snap the good roots off there while I'm mucking around. So, I'm going to open up this door, get this big bloody pot out the way, find another pot, maybe put a block of wood in the new pot that I choose, just to keep the pressure off these roots, and then just fill her up and plant her up. Bye bye, old stump. You will not be missed. Okay, let's get into it. I've got a bit of screen in the bottom. I'm not going to tie it in, I'm just going to pour the soil on top. That reminds me, front is there. Just going to put our blocks in here to sit the old trunk on, just to help support it so we don't smash the new roots. Going to fill it up to a point. And when it gets repotted later on, you know, if it all survives, or if one trunk survives, whatever survives, I will then go about, you know, pulling these blocks out and reducing the roots. And it'll fit into quite a shallow container, I think, once all this is sorted out. So this is the nice soil that we made. Right, I'm going to go and get the tree and chuck it in. Move those blocks over a little bit and dig that hole out a bit. I underestimated how much room those roots need. Okay, well, she's kind of getting in there. So the old trunk is now sitting on those blocks. The rest of the roots we're just going to sort of lay in there for now. I think now what we should do, just cut some holes inside of this pot. Man, this shed is annoying me at the moment. I've got a camper trailer just behind the camera there, and it's taken up all my room I used to use for bonsai, so I'm going to have to rearrange this shed before I lose my crap, you know. I'm going to lose my shit, no space. So I'm going to go and get some rubber and tie it down to the pot in a couple of spots, make it nice and secure, and then let's turn the camera back on. In the meantime, I might just spit it, all this stuff everywhere. Yeah, look at this. So my plan is to maybe move all that shit out today, clear that door will be for filming. And then this bloody camper trailer, windsurfing camping trailer, can stay here. At the moment I had to push it right at the back of the shed, which means I can't walk around. I've got to walk all the way around when I want something. And it's starting to bloody annoy me. So, that's today's job after this. G'day guys, well, put a bit of rubber tube on the bits of copper, tied it into the pot. You can see it's pretty stable in there. So one thing left to do now is just to fill up the rest of the pot with this soil that we made. And just fill her up. Poke her in with your fingers in some of the holes and cracks and crevices. And then happy days. See what happens. So I'll get back to you when I've finished filling it in. I'm going to fill it in past the height of what the base will be, just so that the callousing that is on this big trunk here has a chance to push roots out without drying out, because if I expose too much of it, it might dry out on a hot day and end up not growing. I reckon probably got close to an 80-90% chance of the little trunk surviving with all those roots on it, and probably only 20% chance of this big one surviving. There is callousing and it may push out, but we will see. I'll probably go around now and just chop off some of these big long branches, just to give it less to have to shoot out later. I am tempted to really shorten everything a lot, but I don't know, maybe that could be a bit extreme. Like I could start going in here and just chopping off, you know, branches like that, and really start to reduce the amount that it has to push. And then I could, you know, come in here and cut that there, and I could do that over the whole thing and make it have to push less. But we'll see how we go. I won't do that today. I'm going to just fill it up, clean this bloody shit up. So that's one thorn out of my friggin' ass. And see how she survives. And maybe later I'll just be walking past it. I might chop a few branches off, give it less to push out. See what happens. No worries, we'll bring you back when she's all done. Good day guys, welcome back. Well, I think we're pretty much done. We've got her covered in. She's full, still got plenty of soil left in there. Hedge trimmers out because I am thinking about just hedge trimming this back pretty hard and then redeveloping branches later, because it's very long and leggy, especially now without the trunk and the main big trunk needing the height anymore. I mean, sorry, the height of it used to be that you could have a wider crown. Apple trees can sprawl along the ground like this too, so I'm still in two minds. I may not cut it. I'm going to leave it for today. I don't want to make any rash decisions in the middle of this shed peeing me off. Because when I get in a mood like this, I am ready to just get the old hedgie out and go hard. But I'm not going to. I'm going to hold back, wait 2 days and see how I feel. No worries guys. Thanks for watching Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Yeah, showed you the cheapest, quickest, easiest way to make bonsai mix, which is 100% fine to use. Don't worry about the worm castings if you don't have any available. I just did it because I had some. It may end up actually clogging the place up and making it worse, so we don't know. But potting mix and the Z-Lite and the Woolies kitty litter, very, very cheap way of doing it. We do have some roots on the air layer, so worst comes to worst, we'll have one trunk over here. Survive, but I don't know, there was some good callousing and root nodules trying to push out on the main big one, and we've got a fair way to go before spring, so it may sit around for a bit, sulk, and try and push out something in spring. We'll see. I'll keep you updated. And hopefully I don't get carried away and cut this whole thing back to nothing. I don't think I will. I don't think I will, guys. I'm going to leave it for now. Cheers for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.